Okay, now I think all of you are back, and I'm looking forward to your solution for that exercise. Who wants to go ahead?
I would like to go.
Yeah, Anna, please go ahead.
All right. So if, for example, the government does impose a binding price on the cheese market because they estimate it to be perhaps too low, then there will be most likely a surplus of cheese.
You think of the surplus. You're right. Okay. That's the answer to the first part. Is there a shortage or a surplus due to and now I can make life easy. You can say here we had there we had a binding price ceiling. That's why we had a shortage. Here it's a binding price floor. Then we will have not a shortage, but a surplus. Okay. And I think all of you have the appropriate diagram in mind, isn't it?
That the binding price is over the equilibrium, right?
That's it. The binding or the price floor is a binding one, as long as it is above the equilibrium price. You're right. Yeah. Okay, thanks up to now, Arnold. One colleague has his hand up. Please come to the microphone.
Yeah, like I will answer like for the question B.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, please go ahead with the question B.
Yeah, so it might be possible like for the cheese producers to have total less revenue because when after the government imposes the price floor, there will be less customers buying that cheese product. So in this case, it might decrease their total revenue.
You're right. And do you know, we need one prerequisite, so to say, to have this complaint being true. Here the producers say, oh, we are very sorry because of the higher price at the price floor. This has reduced our total revenue. When? Do we have an idea? You're right, it is possible. And do we have an idea when it will be possible and when it will be true?
On the diagram or
on the diagram or in general? We
yeah,
need
so
just go ahead.
yeah, so I mean there is like the demand, no, there is a supply, but there is less demand at this case. So that decreases the total revenue after the government imposes the price floor.
But in addition to that, we need one prerequisite, so to say. Do you know what I might have in mind?
No, I'm not sure I do.
Or maybe we can ask the fellow students, which condition do we need to make that statement of the producers of cheese correct or true?
I mean, if the total revenue is, I mean, usually total revenue is calculated as a product of the price and the quantity sold. So if the increase in price is not enough to offset the decrease in quantity sold, the total revenue may actually decrease.
Yeah, you're right. But that's more or less the result, not really the prerequisite I had in mind. Any further ideas?
It will heavily depend. It will heavily depend on the demand and the supply.
Yes, now coming closer to what I had in mind. And doesn't we need one prerequisite for the demand or for the supply, and which one do we need? Demand must be elastic. Okay, that's somehow connected to the exercise we had a few seconds ago. Okay, if demand is elastic, then we have more consumers leaving the market. Okay, and maybe we should do a fast diagram on that, because from my point of view, I think this is, and that's why I told you it's my most favorite exercise and maybe the most important one, because within that exercise you can really learn a lot. And that's why I wanted to do this one as a kind of summary for chapter 6 economics. It's the 621 exercise 621. Maybe we can speed up by stealing that picture. Let's see if it will work. If not, then I will have to do it again. But that should be enough. Okay, now we can fix it. We do not need the red port. Let me see if I can clean it in a sufficient way. I'm not sure. Maybe not really. Maybe it would have been faster to the new graph. Okay, no, somehow clean, let's say. That's the one we need. Okay, please ignore the blue parts. Here it's about, you can see it there it's about the binding price floor. As Arnold has already mentioned, that the binding price floor has to be above the equilibrium. But we can use the blue one again. Why not? Let's make use of the blue one. Okay, now we can use the blue one. That's a good idea, I think. No, that's good. Right. Okay, this is the binding price floor. Binding price floor, let's say P floor FL. PFL for sure, it's there. It's the P price floor. Here we are, and then you can see this was the first part of the question answered by Arnold already. Is there a shortage or a surplus? And then we can see it. We have a huge quantity supplied and a smaller quantity demanded. And that's why we will have a surplus. Let's say that here is QS, QD, and the difference, the QS minus the QD, that's the surplus. So, geez. And I think all of you have a diagram like that one or similar to that one, hopefully. And the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied. That's why we have a surplus to that amount. Maybe you can, if you would like to do that, then you can add it with units of the quantity supplied. The quantity supplied for the price P floor and quantity demanded and so on and so on. Okay, quantity demanded, quantity supplied for that given price floor. First part of the question. In terms of having a look to the part B already, do you think that for my graph, demand is elastic or inelastic?
Demand looks
Elastic.
fairly elastic.
Yes, elastic because it's somehow flat, okay? And the easiest way to see it, elastic demand, because if there is an, let's say, increase in price, the quantity drops heavily, okay? Or here, let's say, for instance, a decrease in price, quantity increases heavily, okay? This direction and that direction. By just having a look to the triangles, you can always easily come up with the right conclusion. That's exercise 621 part A from my point of view. Then let's do the part B. Oh, sorry, part B, let's do it there. If we have elastic demand, then consumers' complaint might be correct. I will write it down for you. The producers complained that their total revenue has declined is correct if demand is elastic. The producers complained that their total revenue has declined. Is correct if demand is elastic. And why? That's the first add-on comment. With elastic demand,
If the demand was inelastic, then if the price was higher, then they would make a bigger profit.
yeah, you're right.
They would have a higher revenue overall.
We will see that in the graph in a second as well. Just give me a few seconds, and then we can do it the other way around as well, or the other way around. Just have a look to the slides. But yeah, let's do it step by step. Arnold, thanks for your comment. With elastic demand, the percentage decline in quantity. The percentage decline in quantity would exceed the percentage rise in price. And that's the nature of total revenue. With elastic demand, the percentage decline in quantity, this means quantity down, more quantity down, because this would exceed or will exceed the percentage rise in price. The percentage rise in price. So total revenue would decline. Okay. The percentage decline in quantity, you have a larger decline in quantity goes down more heavily than the price goes up. Okay, and it's always percentage point of view, because connected to elasticity, okay? And I hope that you can remember how we define elasticity. It's the percentage direction here compared to the percentage change there, okay? And here, total revenue will go down if the quantity goes down more heavily than the price goes up. Now having a look to the graph, where can we see the total revenue for our producers of cheese in advance to the binding price floor?
Well, it would be quantity times the price, right?
You're right, and we can make life easier by introducing another green one here. Let's say this one should be, oh, I have small p's and capital Q's. No, okay, not very nice to have small letters and capital letters mixed, but that's not an issue. Let's say this one should be the Q equilibrium. Now we can do it together. Let's do it in, write it down there in black. What is total revenue, let's say, without the binding price floor?
It would be PE times QE.
Yes, it's price times quantity, price in the equilibrium times quantity in the equilibrium. And now you can see the mixture of small and capital letters. Please, well, whenever it's about the bachelor thesis, then please try to avoid it. Okay, whenever it's about the lecture, should be okay. In terms of the graph, the total revenue, you can see it there. Okay, what is total revenue having the price floor? Because government, you can say, government tried to help the producers of cheese by giving them a higher price. In advance to the price floor, the producers of cheese, they were only entitled to get that price. Now they will get a higher price. Maybe government tries to help them, but what is the new total revenue having the price floor?
It will be PFL times QD.
Yes, that's it. Thank you very much. It will be the higher price having the price floor times the quantity demanded in our graph.
You do this.
Okay, can you see the result which we wrote down with regards to the plot B? Here, revenue in advance to the price floor. Now revenue having the price floor, okay? And then you can see in terms of overlap, that's the overlap, a part of both revenues. Due to the price floor, we are losing that part and we are winning that part in terms of total revenue. And then you can see for the producer's complaint is correct because they are losing due to the binding price floor, they are losing this one and they are winning that one. Okay, and if you would like to have it within the graph, maybe you can do it. Let's do green in terms of winning, maybe. We are winning that part. Or we in terms of the producers, and we are losing that part. I think what I want to write down. Winning and losing. And here, that part in the middle is part of both revenues. Okay, that's why we do not really have to focus on that one. And maybe there we can write down due to the binding price floor, binding price floor, we are losing total revenue and we are winning total revenue. Please do it that way around, winning and losing. It's loopy way again. We are losing that magenta part and we are winning the green part. I think up to now it's clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Arnold, I will come back to your add-on question once we have not elastic but inelastic demand. What is the new setting in this situation? We can do that in a few minutes. First of all, I would like to go on with the part C. Mihul, your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to answer C.
Okay. Yeah,
That's it.
please go ahead.
So here it's like for number C, like when the government agrees to purchase all the surplus cheese at the price floor, it essentially creates situation where government is acting as the buyer of the last resort. Now comes to the second part of the question. So who benefits from this? Mainly producers would benefit from this policy because the government is purchasing the surplus cheese at the price floor. This ensures that producers can sell their entire quantity of cheese, even if consumers are not willing to buy it at elevated prices. And the third part, so who loses here? Sorry, it's got to be the taxpayers because the cost of purchasing the surplus cheese falls on the taxpayers. So the government is using public funds to buy the surplus and taxpayers bear the financial burden of this intervention.
Perfect. Okay, that's the master solution. Thank you much for your help. That's it. And should we write down a kind of solution for that one, or do all of you agree to Mihul's?
Could you please write down a solution so we could have a complete solution?
Okay, good. Then let's invest the 2 minutes, but it's the essence, I would say, it's the same as Mehul already told us. If the government purchases all the surplus cheese, if the government purchases all the surplus cheese, at the price floor, then you can say that the producers are happy because they can get rid of all the cheese at a very good price. Producers benefit and the taxpayers, they lose. Because the producers they would produce, not produce, but produce. They would produce the high quantity. They would produce that here the QS. Producers would produce quantity QS of cheese, and their total revenue would increase heavily because of the higher price, and their total revenue would increase heavily what is their total revenue in that situation? Yeah, the overall rectangle, okay? Price floor times that one, okay? This means the total revenue for the producers would jump from here to there, okay? They would win that part here. It's price floor times QS. 2 times QS. That's the new total revenue for the producers. However, the consumers would buy only the smaller quantity. However, consumers, sorry for the handwriting, would buy only which quantity? They would only buy the quantity QD, the quantity demanded, would buy only the quantity QD of the cheese. So they are in the same position as before. In the same position as before. And that's why the taxpayers lose because they have to finance it. Taxpayers lose because they would be financing the purchase of the surplus cheese. Lose because they would be financing purchase of the surplus cheese. And the surplus cheese, the amount you already wrote down, it's the QS minus the QD. The buyers are buying this one, and here in between, that's the amount bought by the government, and they will purchase the financing of the surplus cheese through higher taxes. You can say via higher taxes. Okay, that's one way to solve it for me, for the exam, for checking and grading the exam. Mehul's answer would be totally fine. Is that solution and that exercise up to now clear to all of you? If yes, please give me the next green check mark right now via the reaction. Only 4 green check marks. There should be 20 green check marks. Please give me the green check mark or the Zoom reaction. And then I can see that you are fine with that one. Okay, now we have a feedback ratio close to 50%. I will delete the feedback. Thank you very much. Now let's come back to Arnold's add-on question. What about having not an elastic demand, but an inelastic demand? If you have the inelastic demand, maybe I can steal it and fix it. But that's just an add-on, okay? That's why quick and dirty should be fine. Let's steal it from there. And that's not part of the official exercise anymore, so to say. It should be a kind of add-on. But then we have, I would say, a good summary for the overall chapter. Okay, what do we have to fix? If we have another
previous previous answer, please. Number 3. The last
just give me a second. I will come back to you once we are done with that add-on part. Okay. Let's do this one first of all. Let's fix the demand one. Okay. We have to clean up that one. Okay, I think I'm faster once I'm doing a complete new start. Okay, let's do a complete new start. Quick and dirty only. Supply should be that one, and now I would like to have an inelastic demand. Okay, we have quantity, we have price, we have supply, we have demand, not elastic. Let's say demand inelastic. And then again, we would like to have a binding price floor. Oh, should be a straight line. Okay, and now we can see that what is the old revenue here, equilibrium, price in the equilibrium. And here that's the old revenue in advance to the binding price floor. Due to the binding price floor, we have a new quantity, or we have several points to include. Red one here, red one there. We have a new quantity supplied. Let's say again QS. UD. And then again in the losing and winning perspective, consumers are losing some total revenue. Yeah, sure. They are losing some quantity. The quantity they are losing is here in between. That's why if we work with the same colors again, the losing part would be, no, it somehow works. The losing part is that one here in between. They are losing this revenue and they are winning that revenue here. Whoop. Okay, and now Arnold that's primarily the answer to your question. If demand is inelastic, we can see that total revenue goes down to a certain extent, the magenta part. But on the other hand, due to the very inelastic demand, consumers have no chance of leaving the market. And that's why total revenue goes up by, let's say, a very large amount. Green is larger than magenta. The consumers, they are winning more than they are losing. But please be careful, that's nothing else but an add-on, okay? What you're doing here, that's an add-on. Add-on to exercise, I think 621, isn't it? Yeah. Add-on to exercise 621. Clear to all of you? Arnold, clear to you?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Then let's jump back to the part C. Anders, so have you had a question? Anders, so have you had a question, if I have it right in mind?
No. I just need to see the previous question answer.
Okay. But as you know, you are not allowed to make your own video or audio recordings. Just follow our lecture, listen to your fellow students, and that's it.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Okay, any further questions? Okay, then guys, time for the first break. Let's do a break until 10, okay? About 20 minutes, and then we will go on. Thank you very much up to now. And
All
see
right.
you.
All right, sir. See you later.
Yeah, thank you. See you again in about 20 minutes.